Maybe we should let the darkness consume us.
Well, it's definitely been a while since we had any news about the show Come Learn with Pibby. The question about whether or not this show was going to get greenlit for an actual show has been up in the air for quite some time. No news about it. No one knew exactly what was going to happen until now, because now it has been officially confirmed that the show Learning with Pibby is not going to become a show ever. And as a fan, that truly makes me upset. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is AnimaTD, better known as Animated, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this brand new video. This news might not be as shocking to you guys as it is to me, but as somebody who actually wanted the show to get made into a real show, for it to not get greenlit at all, and it being well received on the internet just to get thrown away later, that just simply makes me upset. Over the course of time, we've talked a lot about the Come Learning with Pibby over here on this channel. And fun fact, the Learning with Pibby reaction trailer that I did a couple years ago is the most popular video that I have on the channel to date, which still boggles my mind that that's the most popular, but I'll let it slide. The show had so much potential to be being made into a show, and most people simply can't believe the fact that it's not getting greenlit at all. And while most people are saying that it still has a chance, unfortunately, I have news that it is not going to be made into a show. So let me go on ahead and read the official statement for you. An official statement has been made from Pibby's creator, Dodge Greenlee. In a little Q&A session, fans asked what's up with Pibby. Basically, the statement goes as follows. Sadly, Pibby is dead. Realistically, there will never be anything else made in the Pibbyverse. This obviously sucks for Dodge and for anyone who has supported it. Pibby was in development for a long time. By the time the short went on YouTube, Cartoon Network had already essentially passed on the first version of the series. The short's popularity briefly kept the series alive, which meant that Dodge returned to the development process and led to the April Fool's activation on Adult Swim. But ultimately, Cartoon Network couldn't find a home for it at Adult Swim or elsewhere. Generally speaking, this was all for the usual reasons having to do with executives and budgets and corporate mandates and other extremely stupid stuff. The specific creative desire for Pibby to cross over into existing IP universes did not help. The result of all of this was extremely crappy for Dodge. He still got rejected multiple times by the important people for reasons beyond his control. This is basically an artist's nightmare. So basically, to shorten it up, Cartoon Network themselves didn't have any space to put this Pibby series idea because of budgets as well as IP issues. And honestly, that really does suck, only because of the fact that they could have found a way around it somehow, in my personal opinion. Cartoon Network as a whole had its fair share in many shows over the years. And while some of them had a very extensive long run, some of them were very short-lived. Granted, some of these shows weren't received well with fans, but it still boggles my mind that shows that don't exactly please a certain audience get more of an extensive runtime than a show with a very popular fan base, only for it to get canceled and shelved away. Cartoon Network does have a very big history on that, and honestly, to me, that really does suck, only because some of the shows that they did put away were some of my favorites. And unfortunately, some of these shows didn't get a proper ending. There wasn't a real series finale, and the show would just be left on a very big cliffhanger, leaving fans like me to only wonder what would have happened next. I really do wish some shows got more love, and the networks would allow them to have a real ending and not get canceled at all. I definitely feel like that somewhere, somehow, this could have been made into a real show. They could have probably even made this a web series over on YouTube, like Hell of a Boss, or so on. But even so, budget has to be involved, and more than likely, the Pibby IP is probably owned by Warner Brothers already as it is. Let's just say this. Warner Brothers is built on animation. You have Looney Tunes, Animaniacs, you even have so many other properties based on animation that you don't really believe in it. This is why I always say Warner Brothers is definitely not the best company right now. If you aren't exactly aware, the US animation industry is in an incredibly rough patch right now. It seems like no matter where you look, animated shows are getting canceled left and right. Even shows like the rebooted Clone High didn't even get a chance to shine after 2 seasons, which we just did a video on that recently, so you should definitely check it out in the description below. But it still truly sucks that somehow this show is just simply going to be put into the trash can, never to be viewed again. Although a lot of storyboards were leaked online, as well as a lot of plot moments, this could have had some sort of turning point if it wasn't for the bigger executives simply not wanting to put it anywhere or try to find a schedule for it. Again, budgets are also a huge deal, and I feel like that somehow that would have been a bigger process to try to find somebody to not only go on ahead and voice these characters, to figure out what exact IPs they could have been able to use, considering the fact that they used IPs that weren't owned by Warner Brothers themselves. I definitely feel like this show could have shined more on Adult Swim, only because of the fact that it did have a lot of gore moments within it, and kids on regular Cartoon Network channels wouldn't exactly be interested in it. But still, it sucks that this show is just simply getting thrown away. The idea behind it was so good, and honestly, I just wish that this show had a chance to go on ahead and be presented as an actual show. Now here's the thing. Do I really think that this show could have made Cartoon Network or Warner Brothers themselves themselves a lot of money? Absolutely. Do I think that this show could have lasted more than just one season? Probably at least 2 seasons to really just kind of make it solid, but I don't see this show lasting for like 3 or 4 seasons like Has Been Hotel or other properties as well. Television shows today need a whole reason to drag the audience in. People want to feel connected in some sort of way with the characters that they see on television. Whether these characters will make them laugh, make them cry, or simply show a certain representation to themselves, these are very important factors whenever someone wants to relate to a character from a certain show that they love. Not to mention, the plot for the show has to be very unique and has to be worth keeping going on for at least several seasons. While I feel like this show could have had some potential to do at least 2 or 3 seasons, in the back of my mind, I definitely think for certain that nothing like that could have really happened with this show, which really sucks considering the fact that this show, I do, in my personal opinion, feel was very unique indeed. But unfortunately now, we won't know. In some way, maybe it is a good thing that this show definitely got canceled. But to many fans like me out there, they're simply devastated at the fact that this show just simply did not get a chance at all. Animation as a whole truly does suffer, and it sucks to see that very successful projects that could have a very successful future just simply get dropped off. Really makes me upset. Again, I know we talk a lot about animated projects over here on this channel, and sometimes I might go a little bit off record and get off track for sure, but this was one of those projects that I simply fell in love with the moment that it came out. I do hope that somehow this show does get made into a show in the near future, but for right now, it just seems very unlikely. I think the characters Pibby and Bun Bun should definitely be admired by a lot of people, but at least the trailers and everything else are still up on YouTube for a lot of people to go on ahead and watch. Again, I really do owe a lot to this series in particular because I feel like if the videos that I made on here didn't get a lot of attention, honestly, I probably wouldn't even started doing YouTube again in the first place. The potential show of Pibby and Bun Bun and every other character that has been involved holds a very special place in my heart due to the fact that those are what made my channel so popular, and honestly, I do hold a personal grudge over Warner Brothers because of it right now. I do hope something does change in the near future because otherwise, animation as a whole is certainly doomed. I really do hope something does change for shows like this in the future because it's very tiring to see these shows just simply get thrown away without getting a chance to shine. Hopefully something does change in the animation industry soon and we can at least get some redemption arcs for a lot of these shows. Now guys, let me know your thoughts. After hearing the news that this show was not getting made, what were your thoughts on it? Do you think that animated shows like this should at least get somewhat of a chance to shine, or do you think that it's very well respected that they simply don't get greenlit at all? And if this was getting made into a potential show, what was something that you were looking forward to seeing in it? Let me know in the comments below. But guys, that is going to wrap up this video for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as well as turn on notifications for more cartoon news and reviews coming to you real soon. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up this video. Once again, my name is AnimaTD, better known as Animated, and I hope that you go on ahead and tune in next time.